All right, so let me give you an illustration. I'm at a nice hotel, and I have a top floor room, and I'm with this chick, and I'm sitting perched up on the balcony, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and she's sitting next to me, and I have full fucking surveillance of what's going down at the pool beneath me. And this has happened several times. I've been seeing this more and more. It's a running theme where I'm looking down at the general ambience of these environments, and I'm seeing a ton of fucking dudes. I don't even know if you can call them dudes. Just mealy eyed, effete, amoeboid looking motherfuckers in huge packs, because that's where they all congregate for safety. Just weak looking, fragile looking men surrounded by a bunch of chicks. And all these chicks are friends. You can tell these guys are not charged. They have zero sexual energy. Zero. And it's mind boggling how many dudes do not have a competitive bone in their body. There is zero sexual energy. People are ashamed. The general fucking consensus that I see is a lot of men are ashamed of their own flesh and bone. They're ashamed of the fucking human body and all its capabilities, because you see these dudes interacting and mingling with women, and none of these chicks want to fuck them. Zero, less than zero. They get pat on the head like little kids. They tell little fucking jokes. They act like women. They fucking drink. They hoist their beers. They tinkle their fucking glasses together. They dance like women. They act like women. And they're hanging around women in these huge fucking harems, and they don't even get any pussy. And you have to ask yourself, how the fuck a grown adult male finds it acceptable to interact and socialize in packs with other females, knowing full well not a single female in that pack wants to have sex with you. Not one. If I was in a situation like that, where I was in a fucking pack of dudes around a bunch of chicks and not a single chick had any sexual attraction to me, the first motherfucking thing I would do is wonder what the fuck is wrong with me. But none of these guys seem to have any capacity whatsoever to self-analyze and understand why they are in the position that they're in. There's just zero self-reflection. There's nobody at home. And it's extremely fascinating because it goes back into my point, which is circular, which is that most men are walking around genuflecting and bending the fucking knee and yielding in deference to superior men. They watch guys walk by them all day with the chicks they want, the cars they want, the lifestyle they want, and it doesn't even, their heart rate doesn't even raise. They're fucking dead. There's no inspiration. They don't look at that guy as a fucking inspiration. They don't want what that guy has. They just pass by. They fucking crumple their shoulders. They lower their head. They almost bow to you like they know you're a fucking superior male. And it's a fucking abomination. It's a fucking pandemic. Think about in the fucking 90s, in the fucking late 80s. You think men were hanging out with chicks and not fucking? That never happened. This is a brand new phenomenon. These dudes are so ashamed of their flesh and bone. And they're so ashamed of the physical body. And that's what all this fucking tech revolution, crypto included, what it is on its face, a lot of this shit is a fucking cultural response to lack of attractiveness, lack of beauty. So these motherfuckers just despise the human organism. So they want to uglify. They want to uglify and fagify the entire fucking world and invert every property of the natural order into its fucking form so they can accelerate this bitch into the ground so that there can be a correction. That's why I say these fucking weird chicks, these fucking effete males, they are our friends because they are accelerating this truck into fucking oblivion as fast as possible so there can be a vicious response from motherfuckers who actually get what's going on. And I see this shit routinely, and it just It really does baffle me how these guys are so dead inside. They have no soul. They're not even in touch. There's zero sexual energy. If you're hanging out with a chick and you're not taking it personal that that chick has zero sexual attractiveness towards you, you're a very broken man, because your sexual energy is everything. You either use your sexual energy to make money or you use it to have sex, period, the end. But it all starts from that. And if you do not fucking take ownership in being a man, which, by the way, if you are fucked up in life and you have no direction and you have nowhere to go and you are a man, the first thing you can do to fix that problem is you can take pride in just being a man at any point in time. That's your fucking focal point. Because as a man, you are factory installed, you are hardwired, you are the most powerful creature on earth. I don't give a fuck how big of a nerd you are. If you are a male, you are a blessed creature on this earth. And you can take pride in just being a man at any fucking point in time. So if you're struggling or you don't have your money right or your health is fucked up or you have relationship issues, relationship stress, you have a job that you despise, you can fucking take pride in being a man at all times. That should fucking bring you solace and peace, is that you were born in that fucking gender, because pretty much everything is correctable as a man. If you're ugly, it's fixable. If you're broke, it's fixable. If your mindset's fucked up, it's fixable. If your fitness is fucked up, it's fixable. You're the end ranges that you can go to as a male is infinite. There's nothing that you can't fix. There's nothing that you can't overcompensate. There's nothing that you can't. And that's what the whole fucking game is. The whole fucking game of life is overcompensation. It's what everybody's doing. Coping is severely fucking underrated. Severely underrated. Healing is overrated. You don't want to fucking heal every aspect of your personality. You don't want to sit here and be a restored, perfectly mentally healthy man, because then you have zero zeal and zero motivation to attack this world and tear worlds down and rebuild them in your own image, which is what men are designed to do. I'm going to say that again. As a man, you are designed by nature to be a blunt instrument and tear down worlds and rebuild them in your own image. You can take that metaphor any way you wish. I take it as I have to have severe impact on my personal local environment. My local environment means everything to me. I don't give a fuck what's going on at the White House. I don't give a fuck if a UFO lands on the south lawn of the White House. I only care about the primacy of my direct experience. My hopes, my aspirations, my fears, my dreams, my goals, my hopes, my crew, my friends, we are central. That is the central party command structure. And anything less than that mentality is a loser's scenario. It's a fucking loser's scenario, and it's a piss poor way to live. You have to take charge of your local environment. People should know who you are when you walk through the streets. If people aren't dapping you up, if your butcher's not giving you deals, if people aren't letting you cut lines, then you are a broken man, because you are invisible. And that is the absolute hell on earth for a man, is being invisible. I'll tell you that right now. And most men have slumped so low that this is a foregone conclusion. They have absolutely surrendered all agency to superior men. There's not a competitive bone in their body. When I see men have shit that I have, it puts me into fucking overdrive. I want that shit. Why don't I have it? Because you have to understand, the fuck you mentality, I used to think that mentality had the greatest ROI on earth. The fuck you jerk attitude. It's not. You know what attitude is? The why not me. The why not me attitude will take you further and propel you higher and make you climb this fucking stratosphere harder than just about any mentality you could possibly indoctrinate yourself with. Why not me, motherfucker? It's a pretty fucking level playing field. Everybody's born as a fucking nerd. Everybody's born as a dork. Everyone's awkward when they're a fucking kid. It's the kids who fucking take risks, who get into fucking sports, who fucking deal with adversity, who overcome shit. That's how they edge themselves out and carve a place for themselves in the world. A nerd is just a motherfucker who doesn't take risks. That's why the fucking World Series of Poker was such a fucking spectacle. That's why that fucking show, everybody fucking has watched the World Series of Poker, because it's a bunch of fucking nerds playing cards for millions of dollars. You're single-handedly watching the evolution of a nerd in real time. You're watching a nerd become a man. You're watching a nerd become a G, shoving his fucking chips in the middle for millions of dollars at risk. That guy's no longer a fucking dork, because he's fucking in the center of the stage. He's where the gunpowder is. He's making shit happen. And that's what life's all about. It's all about pushing your fucking baselines. It's all about fucking competition. Competition is the most beautiful motherfucking thing on this planet. It should fucking inspire you. It should light you on fire when you see motherfuckers doing shit that you can't do. But instead, we're in this fucking reverse order where motherfuckers think competition is ugly, competition is evil. No. Egalitarianism is fucking evil. Equality is an atrocity. Equality is fucking disgusting. The act of going into the gym and lifting weights and physically improving yourself, that process alone is the process of making yourself unequal. Anything you do to directly benefit your life is the process of making yourself unequal. And that has to be relished, and it has to be held to your vest, and it has to be worn on your fucking heart sleeve, because it's fucking everything. Like I said, I wasn't fucking born the most fucking perfect fucking character. I grew up a fucking dork like every other motherfucker. You know, so if I could fucking transform and I could turn myself into a fucking monster and a fucking demon based on my own fucking volition, I know every other motherfucker can. But you have to see through this bullshit veneer first. You have to look at the state of man and how people just clog you up. It's just, if you go in your public life, most people are just fucking clogs. They're just here to slow you up, clog up lines, create fucking havoc. Zero accomplishments, zero mission, zero dreams, zero goals. They're existing like maggots. They're not fucking doing anything. You should be moving at a pace that is far more brisk than the fucking common man. When I'm moving through stores, I'm fucking bang, 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 grabbing shit off the fucking shelf. I don't even fucking get a cart at the grocery store. I just throw shit in my fucking hand. I'm zipping through motherfuckers. People are lollygagging, pushing their little fucking carts up the aisle for 30 minutes, checking prices. People love to fucking wait. They love it. They love to lollygag because it's an excuse to waste more time. You get to fuck around on your phone. You get to fantasize. You get to fuck around on Instagram. You have zero fucking direction. It should fucking piss you off to wait in line. Anywhere. Your time is so fucking precious, and people just piss it away like there's no tomorrow. Like there's no fucking tomorrow. People just piss on their time. And then they practice positive thinking and fucking new age things. Well, my blood is boiling in fucking rush hour traffic right now. So I'm just going to fucking pretend to be Mr. fucking peaceful and Mr. fucking let everything roll off my shoulders. No. It should fucking make your blood boil to wait 2 hours in traffic, because you have to plan your fucking life better. You have to plan your entire life around avoiding normies, because they will slow you up. They don't give a fuck. They have no incentive to be fast. Zero. You go to the dentist, you go to the doctor. They're always an hour late for your appointment. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck. You don't even get a fucking apology. It's just everybody's moving at a fucking snail's pace because they're paid regardless of your time. So you have to start doing crazy shit. You have to up the ante. You have to up the stakes. I was at the barber shop a couple weeks ago. I walked in. They wouldn't take appointments. And I was like, I'm not fucking waiting here. So there was an old man who was in front of me. I said, yo, I'm going to give you $100 to skip you. He was like, what? He was like, how about 50? And I said, no. I said, I told you I'd give you 100. I'm going to give you 100. Handed him a $100 bill. He was like, please be my guest. Walked right in front of him, got my shit, fucking bounced. Best $100 I ever fucking spent. Because I would have been sitting there with my thumb up my ass for 45 fucking minutes waiting for that shit. And once you fucking crank up the dials and you start to speed shit up and start to realize you can fucking wheel and deal, the more networks you have, the more people you know, the faster everything goes, your mission becomes so much more fucking clear because you're not bogged down by the fucking trifles and the bureaucratic red tape processes of all these fucking businesses and shit that want to fucking slow you up. I'm constantly skipping lines, constantly tipping doormen, tipping valet guys, going first, jumping the line, starting shit with people. I mean, I'm very fucking aggressive with this shit because I'm saving hours a fucking day to get more involved in the shit that matters to me. And if this doesn't piss you off and you can literally justify in your own head that waiting for all of these things and just that's I think that's the craziest part is people just sit here and they think, well, you know what? I'm forced to wait. But you're not. You're never forced to fucking wait. There's always another fucking alternative. But people just aren't aggressive and they have trouble asserting themselves and asking for favors and going to the person who has the most power in the establishment and telling them, look, I got to get the fuck out of here. What can we do? Working backdoor deals. But you motherfuckers just sit here and just pretend like you are a fucking rat. Like you're just you're a digit. You're going to take your little fucking ticket with the number on it. You're just going to wait like everybody else. That mentality alone is extremely fucking pernicious and it's very fucking pervasive. And it's all of this shit is fucking together. It all fucking collides. That's the thing. All of this shit fucking compounds. No sexual energy, no competition, no spirit, no drive, no aggressiveness, no alternative thinking. You have to understand when you are in corners, when you are backed into a corner in life and you put time constraints on yourself to get stuff done. I'm not talking about deadlines that other people set. When you put the pressure cooker under your own ass and you make it unacceptable to delay knowing what you have to do, the world will fucking bend to that. It's every time. I've never seen this not happen. I've never seen it not happen. And you have to avoid being around poor, broke people in general. Even if you are broke yourself, you have to go to the nearest city and start hanging out at places where the people are a lot more pleasant. I don't deal with any riffraff in my life because I don't hang around poor people. It's a fucking policy that I instituted about 10 years ago. And it is the most immediate, effective ROI that you can feel in your fucking bones. You're just around pleasant motherfuckers. I don't fucking go into CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, Target, not looking for deals because I don't like the fucking crew of people there. They're built like shit. They look like a sack of oatmeal in a garbage bag. They don't take care of themselves. And I don't want to be around that type of energy. That mindset is very fucking infective. It's very contagious. And so I don't know how motherfuckers think they're going to break out of their shell and push things to the next level if you are constantly surrounded by that hive mind of people who are broken, just broken inside with zero desire to rise above their circumstances. So like I said, I don't even go into 7-Eleven, don't go into Rite Aid, don't go into CVS, certainly not walking into a fucking Albertsons, not walking into a Vons. I don't give a fuck. I'm paying more money to be at higher quality fucking venues where higher quality people are. People make your world, period, the end. The quality of people that you even see, the quality of people that you interact with, the quality of people that are around you have the most immediate impact on your life. And you don't realize how fucked up it is to be in an arcology or to be in an ecosystem with other motherfuckers who do not have the same mentality you have. The chances of breaking free from that are minuscule if you don't fucking fix that shit. And then magically you start meeting the right motherfuckers. You start meeting people who will give you opportunities. You start getting phone numbers from people who actually matter. You can't get out of your circumstance hanging out with broke people. It's never happening. Ever. Ever. And the best part is once you get your shit together and you're actually somebody who's fucking worth knowing, then you can go back and you can be a fucking provider. You can start bailing out motherfuckers that you can sense have potential. You can give opportunities to other people and help them rise out of poverty. But you have to fucking save yourself first. I'm going to take a couple questions here. Yo, yo.
Yo, what's good, man?
What's good, brother? Talk to us.
Brother, that was fucking amazing. You stuttered for like 0.2 seconds in a 15-minute rant. You're fucking on one. You're channeling the divine light. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Much love.
Illustrated, talk to us. Illustrated, you're live.
Yo, can you hear me?
True Pac.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Illustrated.
Sorry,
What's
sorry
up, man?
about that, man. Yo, real quick, I was
Oh,
just
good.
curious, what age were you when you kind of woke up and you were like, I'm fucking taking action and going after this? I'm just curious, like, what age that kind of like lit up in you?
Mine was early because I got the boot from my nuclear family when I was 17. So I was in survival mode for a long time. So I had no choice, man. I mean, all my cylinders were revved. I was redlining adrenaline and cortisol every day of my life. So it was a matter of necessity. But I mean, fuck, dude. My favorite cliche is necessity is the mother of all invention. And that's an easy one to forget. But I feel like there's nothing has been more true on this planet to me than necessity being the mother of all invention. And like I said, man, corners are opportunities for creativity. I've never seen, and primates love a good scrap. If you put humans against the wall and you back them against the wall, even the weakest animal is going to go for the jugular, right? So when we back ourselves into corners, it's an opportunity for creativity to see perspectives and try things that we haven't done before. And me being backed into corners has created more ingenuity and more success and more wealth and more abundance in my life than just about anything else.
Excellent. Thank you, man.
Yep. True Pac, talk to us.
Yes, sir. What's up, Brute?
What's up, baby?
Yeah, I read a little bit about your story about when you got kicked out from your nuclear family, went to Vegas, put everything on the table, took a risk, lost everything, and was going back to LA. How is having your back against the wall, like has that motivated you? Because the way you speak about it gives us hope. Starting from the bottom, we don't know where to go, which direction to go. Would you say gambling would be like a good starting point, even though it's high risk, it's also high reward? So would you recommend that for other people?
No, fuck no. I don't recommend my lifestyle to anybody. I don't see myself as any kind of role model or idol or messiah. I just all I do is share my experience, strength, and hope. That's all I do is share it from my perspective. I don't think anybody should try to copy my path because I've put myself through way more danger and hardship than any man ever should have. But I will tell you one thing. I have never seen a man. I think all men subliminally are desperate for a fight. Every man wants to be tested. Every man wants to know what he's really capable of. And I think a lot of guys are simply too scared to take the floor out from underneath themselves. And they know that's what they need to really kick it into gear. It's like everyone has too many safety nets. Everyone has a mom or dad they can call if they can't pay their phone bill or they're late on their car payment. You got too many people that'll bail you out. And what's crazy is once you take full responsibility for your life and you make it unacceptable to accept bailouts, you are destined to reach your final form. And it's probably going to take several iterations. It's taken me hundreds, but dude, there is not life on survival mode is where all the fucking juice is. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I've been in permanent survival mode for 15 years. I've never gotten out of it. It's hard for me to relax. It's hard for me to decompress, but I don't want to because I love being revved up, dude. I wake up with a zeal and a zest for life every fucking morning, dude. I mean, I'm on constant attack mode and I can't imagine life being pleasurable in any other way.
Definitely staying in that mode. I feel like your tolerance for normies is at absolute zero.
It's at zero, and if you think about it, it's interesting. Billionaires are constantly in survival mode too.
Definitely.
That's kind of where I pull that from. It's like billionaires, people who are extremely successful and love the game, they don't get out of survival mode either because they can't. The normal life, it's almost like the normal life is so jaded.
It's like throwing in the towel, so to speak.
Correct. So they're constantly in that same state of being as a poor person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a mental mindset that they play with themselves, but it's true. It's like once you reach a threshold of success and wealth, it's extremely hard to keep it because you have to keep yourself really in check. And so these guys are constantly stressed out and adding more to their plate. And normal people don't understand that. But when you love the game itself and you are here to respect the game itself, you're going to play it until the bitter end. It's not even about the numbers anymore. You just love the fight because it keeps you fucking youthful. That's what I talk about, dude, is there's good stress and bad stress.
Mm-hmm.
Business stress and stress that is directly related to your goals and your aspirations, that's the stress that makes you age like a fucking wizard. If you like, you'll see dudes who have wrinkles and cracks in their forehead and fucking grizzled temples, their hair's all white and shit, but they still have like those egg white pupils and they just look healthy. They have an aura about them that's healthy and they're Clydesdales. These guys just don't stop. I mean, all my wealthy friends, I have a bunch of wealthy friends in their 60s that I do business with. And these guys are unreal. These guys run circles around these 20-year-olds. They're on the phones, banging calls out all fucking day. They're doing meetings from morning, lunch, dinner time, well into the night. And these guys are in their fucking 60s. And their hormones aren't even particularly fucking impressive. Some of these guys have fucking bellies. Some of these guys are severely out of shape. But they are obsessed with the game and they don't stop. And that's what keeps them fucking going, dude. People that are obsessed with the game don't die. It's the closest thing to being immortal on this planet. If you want immortality, you fucking respect the game till the bitter end.
Definitely. I think the biggest misconception amongst normies is success is a final destination, like it's a finish line. Success, that's where the pressure increases even more. Like you said, you have to stay on that level or even try to improve even more. So definitely got to keep the fire under you.
It's true. And it's also the exact opposite. So it takes wild, chaotic energy to become successful. And then you have to slam that gear into the exact opposite to maintain it. Then you have to be a lot more calculated and then you can be a lot more rational. But I think rationality as a strategy to wealth when you have nothing is retarded. The less you have and the lower your station in life, the more irrational moves you have to make. That's just honestly fucking basic. I think that's an elementary concept, but I think a lot of guys are still trying to piece together this rational chess-like strategy towards life when they literally have nothing. They have no baseline. They're broke. They're unimportant. No one fucking respects their opinion, and they're trying to put together these rational fucking decisions. I think that's a fucking death wish.
Definitely. Like life is definitely learned in the trenches. All the lessons that you get along the way, that's what takes you over to the next level.
100%, brother. I appreciate your question.
Hey, you, man. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Drew Pearson, what's up, man?
Hey, Brew, just wanted to say I appreciate the space today. I had two questions for you. I was just curious, where were you at in your life when you were 23 years old? What was your mentality around this time? And if you could meet your 23-year-old self, like today, if he just walked in the room, what would you tell him?
Best piece of advice I can give, man, for my younger self is amnesia is king. You have to have a very short-term memory and a very thick skin in this life. I do not waste any time worrying about events that have passed. If I've made a mistake or 5 minutes ago something horrific happened, I do not dwell on it. I do not harp on it. I move forward faster than just about anybody I know, and I think gambling has trained me to do that. But I do not hold on to losses, and I have an incredible ability to detach from outcomes and from things that no longer serve me. And I would tell my 23-year-old self to 100% stop thinking, worrying, or trying to corkscrew or manipulate the fucking past. It's fucking gone. You have to let it fucking burn. It's one of the first concepts you learn in kindergarten is sometimes you have to let fucking things burn. Amnesia, baby. Short-term fucking memory. Moving on, moving forward. I don't want to hear about the problem. What's the solution? What are we going to do now? What's next? That's what I do. These young guys ask me questions all the time. They gripe to me. They groan to me. They moan to me about their problems. And my next question is always, okay, what's next? I'm not going to talk to you about the past anymore. What are you going to do about it now? It's all that matters.
So do you think that applies to success too, in the same realm as just moving on from that as well, or kind of keeping that in your back pocket for
100%. That's why I'm telling you, like, dude, I mean, this is a personal story, but I got hacked in crypto for 1.4 million in the last 5 months. I had a hardware wallet hacked and I had a MetaMask hacked for a total of 1.4 mil. And my boy couldn't believe how fast I was able to let it go and move on. He was like, dude, why aren't you pursuing this? Why aren't you fucking hiring a fucking cyber firm to try to track this shit down? And I said, dog, you don't understand. I'm not going to sit here and wait for anything to happen, because I know if I get my shit into gear the next day after I got hacked, I will make far more than what I lost from the hacking just by sticking back to my mission and getting back on the horse. And motherfuckers don't understand this. They're obsessed with cleaving onto the past and trying to recover shit that's gone. And when you have the mentality that I have, which is that I will make 3 times that now because I'm so pissed. I'm angered by it, but it's fuel. So I'm going to fucking embark on this fucking crazy journey in the next 6 months to go fucking double what the fucking hacker took from me. I don't give a fuck. I moved on right away. Will not give it any mental real estate. Will not try to chase the fucker down. Just going to let it burn, baby. Because I have conviction. I know who I am, and I know I can recover that money. It's 2020. It's 2022, dog. It's way too easy to build new ships. That's the whole point. In the 1800s, if you fucking had generational assets that were bequeathed to you by family, and let's say that your fucking house got burned down or a robber stole your chickens and your horses, you were royally fucked, because the rebuilding speed in 1800 is next to zero. In 2022, with the fucking phone in my pocket, with a laptop, I can get a fucking business up and running overnight if I have to. It's just too fucking easy to replace shit, to substitute shit in 2022. Relationships included. People aren't working out. You're with a chick you don't like. Fucking kick her to the curb, dude. There's too much going on. There's just too much action. And I love action, so I like to put myself in the middle of it. And so I guess my point is, dude, we live in an era where the ability to rebuild is rapid fire. You will never find a time on earth where men could rebuild from loss and hardship. You have nothing to fucking lose. So I'm all about moving forward, dude, and I don't want revenge. I don't want to fucking go backwards. I'm not wasting my time on that bullshit, dude. It's time that could be spent building something fucking new that could possibly be a lot more powerful than it was before I lost it. That's the other thing, is you don't know what's coming around the corner. You don't know. And so it's very arrogant to worry. I've always said this, worry is preposterous, because you never know enough to worry as a human being about anything. You never truly know enough about any scenario to worry as a human being. So worry is one of the highest acts of hubris and arrogance. That was a great question, man. I'm moving on. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
JC, what's good?
Yo, Brute, I got a question about training. So for the past year, I've been doing calisthenics. But recently I got back in the gym and I started doing the Olympic lifts I learned when I was playing football in high school. And seeing you do the split jerk is just mad inspiring. So when I started the movement, and I noticed this when I started squatting and doing deadlifts again as well, like my lower back was super tight. So with the split jerk, I just go in there and I imitate the movement, and it's kind of like one big stretch right now. I was just wanting like some advice on like when you started with these movements, how did you start, and like where would you go? There's not a ton of people in this gym like doing these sorts of movements, so I'm kind of like the lone dog in there, but like just advice as far as like starting in that arena.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty autodidactic, so I when I first started, I didn't have any coaching. I didn't have anybody telling me what to do. I would just basically aggressively attempt lifts, and then I would film them and I would study hours of my own footage because I had somewhat of a nice little primer. I know the anatomy really well. I know all the Latin. I know the functional movement. I know what the fucking tensor fascia lata is. I know the rectus femoris. I know the function of all the muscle groups. So I know what clean, beautiful movement looks like. So I was able to break down my own videos and see what I was doing wrong pretty easily and then just recalibrate like that. I don't know that I recommend that for everybody, but it was a much more enjoyable process for me to learn the lifts on my own. One thing I will offer to you is that when it comes to weightlifting and power sports in general, you you will notice that you develop like little kinks and little quirks that are not necessarily anatomically perfect, but you kind of develop your own pulling styles, which sort of creates sort of like a unique way of lifting for you. And like I have plenty of imperfections. Like my right foot is always a couple inches in front of my left before I take off. Coaches have fucking critiqued that for me for years, but I just seem to be in a more powerful position starting that way. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if you look at the best athletes in any sport, not just weightlifting, look at Usain Bolt, they have incredible overcompensation patterns. Their movement is not even close to perfect because if it was and you were perfectly symmetrical, you would actually be leaking energy. It would be a force leak. So a lot of these guys have very bizarre overcompensation patterns that actually help them create a lot more power, if that makes sense. So my advice to you is just find your unique positions. As long as you have that baseline and they're anatomically correct as far as your mobility is concerned, then you can put yourself in those end ranges and not have any problems. I mean, my lifts are far from fucking perfect, but they work for me based on my body type. And I've just sort of figured out how to get inside my body and do it more off intuition, if that makes sense.
Word, yeah, that's kind of how I've been attacking it. Is just going in there based off like how watching your videos and other people's, just trying to imitate that. And honestly, what you said about kind of finding your own way makes me feel a little bit better because there are like my right leg, I don't know what you would call it, like cheats or like, yeah, it does weird shit. And so I'm like, you know, I get what you're saying. Like, don't necessarily focus on
Yeah,
that perfect movement, but
I got a bunch of funky shit going on. But one thing I'll tell you is that a lot of guys use technique as an excuse not to take big attempts and to mentally cop out. I know a bunch of dudes who will focus on technique for like 3 years, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm coming to the gym. I haven't seen you make a lick of progress in 3 years. You're still lifting the same weight. And he's like, well, I'm trying to fucking fix my TFL or my fucking IT band is tight. I'm trying to fucking foam roll it out. I'm like, dog, at some point you have to just start fucking lifting weight. Like once you get and that's the thing too, is like once you get the basics down in lifting, the technique's easy, bro. Like coaches spend about a month doing technique with people, and then it's about building the mindset of a champion. That's what coaches end up spending most of their time on. Like if I was coaching a guy, I'd probably do a month of technique, and then it would all about just building the mindset of a fucking winner. Because that's ultimately what separates you from everybody else anyway. It's all the mindset shit.
tight. Thank you. Can I DM you? Because I've got a couple of videos. Like I've been already doing that, like studying my form. Can I DM you some of those
Yeah,
and you
I
can give me some
can't.
feedback?
Yeah, I can't guarantee I'll get to it just because I get tons of dudes showing me technique videos and shit. But yeah, I mean, send it over and if I get to it, I'll get to it.
For sure. Appreciate you, brother.
You know what, guys? I actually got to run, but this was a sick spaces. I appreciate you all. We'll do another one soon.